Nearby provinces will be downgraded to a restricted general community quarantine status starting tomorrow. The Philippines will be signing a term sheet for some 40 million doses of Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 shots. In light of limited supplies, one member of the vaccine expert panel has appealed to health workers to take whatever COVID-19 vaccine brand is readily available. Affected OFWs recount their experience as tensions between Israel and Palestine continue to intensify. And in lighter news, a French EDM artist performs a set in an unusual mountaintop setting. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. The NCR Plus bubble will be under GCQ with heightened restrictions starting tomorrow until the end of the month. Those aged 18 to 65 years old may go out, but only essential travel into and out of the bubble will be allowed. Food establishments may allow dine-in at 20% capacity and fresco at 50% capacity. Churches may hold religious services like holy masses at 10% capacity. Only outdoor non-contact sports and tourist attractions are permitted, still at limited capacity. Entertainment and recreational venues, amusement parks, playgrounds, and conference areas are still prohibited. The head of the vaccine expert panel is encouraging health workers to take whatever COVID-19 vaccine brand is available amid limited supplies. Dr. Nina Gloriani said this when asked about the commotion at the Santa Ana Hospital in Manila on Thursday. Some 300 medical frontliners lined up to receive Pfizer's jab, but only a few of them made the cut. Gloriani told the big story that the incident could be caused by insufficient announcements from hospital officials.
That is why we are, convincing or encouraging or enjoining the healthcare workers to receive what is offered to them and not to, choose. Because there is no choice, even if we have so many vaccines available now. What is allocated to your site will have to be used.
In other news, the Philippine government is now gearing up to repatriate Filipino workers as the clashes in the Gaza Strip continue to escalate. But for some OFWs in Israel, going home is not the best option for now. Marian Enriquez gives us an update on their situation in this report.
Been 4 days straight of cross-border airstrikes between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas. As Israel intensifies its airstrike, Hamas relentlessly fire rockets, affecting the Israeli towns of Ashkelon and Ashdod. "32-year-old Pinay caregiver Lance Recto asks her employer, brings her employer to their bomb shelter every time the siren wails.
Oy! Mama, Aki! Die. Wait!
At one point, a rocket fell only a few meters away from their house, shattering their windows.
So talagang natitense po ako na gusto kong sumigaw at umiyak. Pero wala takot talaga yung nasa isip namin.
She later found out that it hit their neighbor's house and her Indian caregiver friend was among the casualties. Meanwhile, 34-year-old caregiver Ador Tukay captured how Israel's Iron Dome defense system intercepted Hamas rockets. But some still hit buildings and vehicles. In Ador's 15 years of living in Israel, he said this is by far his worst experience with rocket attacks.
Biruin mo, in 3 days, 72 hours, almost 1,350 rockets ang sinend nila dito sa Israel.
Ador showed us where they seek shelter every time they hear the siren. Ador and Lance are fortunate that their house are equipped with bomb shelters. But for other Filipinos, like Berna Bianzon, only the door serves as protection from bomb attacks.
Yan, kung makikita mo po dito, halos puno to ng tao pag may siren. May picture din ako mapapakita sa inyo mamaya. Nandito yung mga tao. Diyan sila nakapwesto. Kasi ito, hindi ito mapapasok to ng missile.
There are around 300 Filipinos living in Ashkelon and Ashdod, while at least 12,000 more are in Tel Aviv. The Philippine government says they are now preparing to launch repatriation efforts. But for Lance and Ador, leaving is not an option.
Baka mamaya magkaroon na ng katahimikan. Hindi naman po solusyon ng umuwi. Ano po, kaya pa naman po sa totoosin po.
As of this time, there are still no reports of Filipinos hurt in the bombings. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
We'll have more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. We are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. It seems that the government is not exerting much effort in boosting the country's maritime economy, according to some experts. Patricia Manguna joins us live from Mandaluyong City to tell us more about that. Pat, what were the reasons cited by the economists?
Yes, Sean, the economics expert who spoke at the symposium earlier today said that the government is not exerting enough effort to boost our maritime economy for sustainable development.
Almost collapsed.
In a virtual symposium by the Philippine Navy, Professor Tina Clemente of the Asian Studies of the University of the Philippines said, the building blocks are already in place, but there is a disconnect among government agencies in operationalizing policies such as the 1994 National Marine Policy, which aims to harness ocean resources from a blue economy for sustainable development. She adds that the Philippines is focused on land-based economies and has failed to strike a balance to enhance investments for the marine economy. Philippine Inter-Island Shipping Association Chairperson Emeritus Doris Magsaysay Ho also echoes this, saying that the NEDA should take the lead in getting things done. She also noted the country can further develop strategies to boost trade with the shipping industry by forging partnerships with them. Aside from this, commercial ships can also be utilized not only for imports and exports, but at the same time can be the government's eyes and ears against illegal activities in the sea for environmental security. Sean, Indonesian ambassador to Germany, Arif Havas Ogroseno, also suggested that the Philippines should change its mindset and see the waters as something that unites instead of divides the country, so that we can be able to achieve sustainable development and maritime security as well. And from that mindset, we can unite also the policies in government. Sean?
Thank you for that. That was News 5's Patricia Manguna joining us live from Mandaluyong. And here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. The Philippines will be signing a term sheet to secure 40 million doses of Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. says we are expecting some 2.2 million Pfizer shots this month, but these will be through the COVAX facility. The truck ban on major roads in Metro Manila will be reinstated starting May 17. The MMDA says this policy will be in effect from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. from Mondays to Saturdays. Trucks carrying food and perishables are exempted from the ban. Retired Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio has started a signature campaign demanding President Duterte to retract his statements on the West Philippine Sea issue. The Change.org petition is asking Duterte to take back his statement describing our arbitral win as just a scrap of paper meant to be thrown away. And for some lighter news, French electro artist Tiho climbed the snowy peaks of the Swiss Alps to perform a set. The 30-year-old DJ said he was excited to do it in an unusual setting, not having been able to perform since the onset of the pandemic. The platform was carried up by a helicopter to an altitude of 3,000 meters. The venue, called Glacier 3000, had also hosted an air show for Swiss acrobat Freddie Knock last month in support of artists impacted by COVID-19. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.